morning, everyone. We start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The prayer today is, Dear Lord, another day has come to us. Thank you for your mercy and kindness. Our Father, we are nothing without you. Thank you for everything. We lift everything up to you as we face another day. Please guide us with your wisdom and walk with us with your love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. We have a full house this morning. So again, I have a large amount of folks signed up to speak. So just confirming that if you're on this, you would like to speak prior to session beginning. Okay. So I can go down the list, or we can just do it in an orderly fashion. The microphone right here is where I'll ask you to come up. You'll have 3 minutes. I'll time your public comment, and then we can go from there. Do we have any volunteers to go first? Yes, ma'am. Please come to the mic.
Good morning. My name is Janet Kramars. I've lived in Geauga County since 1964. My address is 13320 Foxmore Trail, Chesterland, Ohio. NOACA is not good for Geauga County. Your job as a commissioner is to spend our tax money wisely. The Geauga County Planning Commission is asking your board to leave NOACA. It was a unanimous vote. Cuyahoga controls NOACA. The other 4 counties have no power. What I would like to know is how much does it cost us and what do we get other than a bike trail? What are you doing to defend Geauga County? You're elected to spend our money wisely. NOACA is also, they have a plan for Geauga. They do not need to have a plan for Geauga. That's not their job. You gave control of the health department to Lake County. That's not a good thing. A lot of people will be watching this meeting. Not everybody can attend. People like Geauga County, and they're moving out of Cuyahoga. So don't Cuyahoga Geauga. Thank you.
Anyone like to go next?
I'll go next. Good morning, Steve Aldowich. I'm a resident of Hamden. Make a brief statement. And it concerns NOACA also, before we get to any positions on voting. I don't understand why, outside of personal vendettas and malice, the county would acquiesce to abrogating its responsibilities and authority to a great degree to NOACA. I believe the resolution presented today to ratify Article 4 of the NOACA bylaws is not a wise decision. The article removes the right of the citizens to be represented by the 3 commissioners that were elected to be the representatives, as you represent us. Ratifying this article, in effect, gives the board, by a majority vote, the authority to choose who the NOACA representative is. This creates an unnecessary conflict to the board. So it is possible that Mr. Spitaleri, if we've known over the last few weeks, may be removed from Geauga's NOACA Board of Directors, and his alternate, Mr. Claypool, will also be de facto removed. The only Geaugan I know that really asks the NOACA Board any real questions and represents the interests of Geauga County is Mr. Spitaleri's alternate on the board, Skip Claypool. Whether you agree or disagree with his manner and approach to the issues, he does have Geauga's best interests at heart, and he displays them all the time. So does this deserve Geauga County's interest, or does it consider Cuyahoga County's interest? So who do we represent as the commissioners? Special interests in Cuyahoga County or the people of Geauga County? Why would we allow this unelected group of bureaucrats dominated by Cuyahoga County have a role in determining Geauga's development and growth? The county's planning commission has even addressed this issue in a letter to the board. I highly recommend that you take this under consideration in making any decisions, but I recommend that you don't put that resolution to the test today, especially with the people present may not be happy about it. So, I strongly recommend that the resolution not be presented today and that the county make an effort to inform the public about NOACA, such as posting the reports as mentioned before me, in which strategic plans published by NOACA for Geauga are presented, and they're alarming. You know, it's odd, what's really hit me today, we're celebrating 250 years of our country's founding, over 10% of which I served on active duty in the Army protecting our country. And yet our county officials are so willing to deliberately erode our county citizens' representation on the NOACA board. The status quo is not a tenable position any longer, and let's hope for some good change in the future. Thank you.
Next.
Good morning. My name is Diane Winans, 15945 Arbor Trail, Newberry, Ohio. I am not comfortable speaking in public, but I felt so strongly about this issue that I had to say something. When I want to know if somebody supports our American freedoms and if they respect the Geauga County citizens, I look at what they do. I don't look at the number of American flags on political signs or pictures in the paper. To ratify this vote would take away our representation. A word about NOACA. Back in the late 1980s, I wrote the grant to remodel the Chardon Library. Then Director Larry Corbus and I went downtown to present our plans to the NOACA board. We got the grant. I mean, we put up the picture boards and all that. They looked at them and they said, okay, Larry, why are we doing this? Because this is what we have to do. Back then, that's what NOACA did. They approved things like library remodels. Now it's unrecognizable. Public transit surveys and bike trails. Don't we have the expertise on our commission and our Geauga County government to manage our own money and approve projects ourselves?
Thank you. Skip.
I'm Skip Claypool, Chesterland, Ohio. I've served or attended NOACA meetings since about 2010. I know them very well. I served on that board as a county commissioner. I've served on that board twice as alternates. And I know NOACA very well. I go to their forums. I've attended a lot of their informational meetings. And I do all of that, not for personal gain. I get nothing out of that. Actually, I have to spend money for my parking. I have to spend money for gas to go downtown. I take away the time to sit down in those board meetings, and it galls me to see what I see around that board in downtown in Cuyahoga County. I see very few people standing up for the citizens of their counties. There are a few. John Mara out of Lake County, Aaron Harrison out of Medina County, but I do not see our county commissioners speaking up and defending the citizens of our county. And so that's the reason that I do it. That's my only interest. I oppose this ratification, and it will be no surprise to this board. I think there are legal issues with the amendment for Article 9, and we'll see what the courts say about that in a week. But the reason that I take my time and do this is solely for the interest of Geauga County, because I see what Cleveland and Cuyahoga County does is detrimental to our county. Again, I receive no personal gain in this, and actually I'd much rather spend my time fishing and doing some other fun things with my grandkids. But it's so important that people stand up against the abuses that I see in downtown in Cleveland and NOACA, that somebody be involved and somebody stand up and defend the citizens of this county. Think about the money that they spent on a climate action plan, $1 million that they spent, actually $400,000, with another $600,000 set aside for doing that. They put $100,000 in painting their building downtown for some stupid reason. Nobody spoke up against that except me, John Mara, and a few other people. They put $60,000 into a hyper trail or a hyper loop, which we've not even heard anything about. They continue to waste money and put it into bicycle trails and things that are not infrastructure, road and bridge projects, which is what their mandate is. And now they want to get into economic development and help steer Geauga County and the region economically. They've not proven to me that they can demonstrate any responsibility in terms of their own economic development, and they want to steer all the rest of the communities. They created a land use plan that's on their NEO 2050 plan for Geauga County. They had no right to create a plan for Geauga County. Look at that plan. It's detrimental to Geauga County. Who's spoken up about it? Who's read it? Carol and Jim, have you read the plan for Geauga County? And so if you look in that plan, if you read the plan for the climate action, it can accomplish nothing in terms of the climate. And who speaks up about that? So it's important that this board consider not ratifying this Article 4 change, because it does create issues. Is it time's up? Okay, sorry. Well, with that said, I can get into the detail of that, but thank you for allowing me to be heard. I've never exceeded the 3 minutes before.
I know. Anyone else?
Christine Stenzel-Munson. Skip has the facts and figures, and thank goodness for that, because otherwise we wouldn't be informed of what's going on at all. And it's very sad, but what I've witnessed personally is my common sense tells me that when we go to a meeting downtown to NOACA's offices and they don't want us to come in, and they clearly tell us, sit in the back of the room and don't talk, that's a clear sign of something being wrong. We ask questions, they don't answer them, or they give us multiple choice options. Are we doing well? Are we doing great? Are we doing fantastic? None of the above. That's how their questions work. And when we've tried to speak out, it seems like we're not being heard. I mean, for the commissioners to have a unanimous letter that was signed and to be ignored, and the sentiment for all of us here, thank God again for Skip, it seems like we're not being heard. I don't know what we can do to further, your elected officials by us, and we would expect that hopefully you're going to hear our voices. Thank you.
Jonathan?
Good morning. A republic, if you can keep it, that's attributed to Benjamin Franklin.
Name?
Oh, I skipped a step. Jonathan Broadbent, Geauga resident. A republic, if you can keep it, that's attributed to Benjamin Franklin. The waste, fraud, and abuse the U.S. taxpayers are now waking up to has everything to do with the loss of representative government replaced gradually over time and over decades with administrative state. Unelected, unreachable bureaucrats dictating every facet of life with ever-growing tax bill, expanding government, and no matter how nonsensical, the locally, the push for innovative business, farming, education, health, and family has been replaced by Green New Deal type of dictates, which destroys local and regional self-determination and gives all manner of power and wealth building to the countries that ignore Green New Deal and those types of mandates, like India and China. Hold on, let me find my place again. Believe it or not, I don't like public speaking. I don't think I'm great at it. Hold on, I made myself some notes here. This sustainable, outside of the United Nations, I find no better example here locally at least than NOACA on overriding our U.S. sovereignty. There's perhaps no better example than NOACA trying to take control of and dictate to 5 counties how we're to lead our lives. That is not a republic and is not representative government. Somewhere we lost the thread and came to believe that people on boards who ask questions or push back and ask for truth and facts are somehow the enemy. I think that's inappropriate, and I oppose this vote today. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Susan Serby, Chesterland, Ohio. I agree with everything everyone has said this morning. I am rather upset we even have to attend a meeting like this to fight, to ask our county commissioners to defend us and Geauga County. It's very sad. Please do not ratify this garbage and work to get us out of NOACA. They're nothing but a Marxist organization, and I, for one, am totally against, if you ratify this, this will not be good. And I am not opposed to making phone calls to tell you what I think, because it's ridiculous. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Beth Welty. I live in Chester Township F. I agree with everything everybody else has said, and I think all I want to say is that Skip is the NOACA expert, has been, and I think we all look to him because we don't hear about it for many of our commissioners. And like Christine said, when we get things from NOACA, they're always so, aren't we great, fill out these questionnaires, and we know that they manipulate them. And I would just like to say, I know that Skip always kind of gets a bad rap from people. Carolyn, the first time I met you at a Central Committee meeting, you told me how much you don't like Skip. I would wish and pray that you don't make decisions based on your personalities and what you feel about somebody. Please do what's right for Geauga County. We want to keep it rural. We don't want a lot of the agendas that NOAC is trying to push towards us. Thank you.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Karen Dyke, and I've been a Geauga County resident since 2007. Thank you all for serving. We know you as elected officials carry a heavy load representing us as constituents. You were elected after expressing campaign promises to your constituents, which included working together respectfully with all factions of your party. Mr. Dvorak and Ms. Brakey, I don't see that in your dealings during this month. Reading in yesterday's Cleveland News that you both privately asked NOACA to change their bylaws to disqualify a previous alternate delegate who stood up for what Geauga County citizens want is wrong. Geauga County citizens wish to leave NOACA in the future. I oppose this ratification, and I ask that you as commissioners not ratify the NOACA Article 4. I would ask that you allow Mr. Spitaleri to once more be allowed to appoint Mr. Claypool as his alternate. Finally, I do not want a public transportation system from Cuyahoga or Lake to Geauga County as proposed by NOACA. Most Geauga County residents agree with me. We believe in human responsibility. We teach it to our children from the earliest moment they can start comprehending it. I used public transportation for years in the past, and I chose to live where it was available. I rented a one-bedroom apartment near public transportation. I didn't expect public transportation to be built for me and brought to me. When I moved to rural Geauga County, I did so not wanting a future bus stop in front of my door. I represent the vast majority of my fellow Geauga County residents with this statement. Thank you for listening to my concerns and working respectfully with us. We would ask that you represent us, please, not represent your own interests or Cuyahoga County's interests. Can you please make that happen?
Anyone else?
My name is Linda Reddick, and my family and I are living in Newberry. I have called Geauga County home for over 20 years. We chose this area for its stunning scenery and charming rural atmosphere, and we truly cherish living here. I've actively participated in various initiatives throughout the county to help preserve its natural beauty and its rich history. Helping to maintain this. As county commissioners, you oversee critical areas in this county, including implementing the budget and carefully managing our tax dollars. This responsibility is a vital part of your commitment to us as residents. Today, I wish to express my concern regarding NOACA, as many of us are very concerned about it. And its impact on your decision-making responsibilities in Geauga County. When you ran for office, you promised to strive to improve our county, and your commitment is to us as Geauga County residents. However, NOACA, as a governing board, does not prioritize Geauga County and its best interest. Their focus seems to be on expanding Cuyahoga County rather than considering what is best for us. Why are you allowing NOACA to make significant decisions on our behalf without any question and without any pushback? And it feels like you are relinquishing our sovereignty to a foreign county, not us. I expect you, as our commissioners, to stand up for our county and to do what is best for us. I urge you to consider either leaving NOACA and aligning with similar counties or appointing an alternate who is knowledgeable about NOACA's policies and plans for us, who will actively advocate effectively for our county. That alternative choice should be someone who stands with you. Regardless on if you like somebody or not, you each pick the best person to fill your seat, period. The decisions that you are making today will have long-lasting impact on our communities moving ahead. And this should be a sobering reminder to you as your vital role as our representatives. And I just want to mention, too, that largely nobody heard of NOACA before. I hadn't heard of NOACA until 5 years ago, and it was largely because of Skip Claypool. I don't know Skip, but I appreciate
Time is up, ma'am.
him expressing the concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Gary Neolo, live in South Russell. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to speak against the proposed amendment related to NOACA representation on today's agenda. This is not routine procedural matter. It highlights a deeper and more serious issue, continued entanglement with an organization that no longer aligns with Geauga County's priorities or principles. NOACA was created as a metropolitan planning organization. Its core mission is transportation planning, roads, bridges, safety, congestion, reduction, and freight movement. That mission has fundamentally changed. Today, NOACA's focus increasingly includes climate policy initiatives, 15-minute city planning, bike lanes, charging stations, public art murals, expanded bus systems, and even coordinating traffic studies to tie Brown Stadium activity in Cleveland. Whatever one's personal views, these are not Geauga County's pressing infrastructure needs. Approving Article 9 further entrenches this shift and violates basic principles of governance by locking in a power structure that cannot be meaningfully reversed. This is entrenchment, not reform. It permanently consolidates control within Cleveland and Cuyahoga County and marginalizes Geauga County's voice. This move is strictly political. The removal of roads and bridges, focused engineer, and meaningful influence did not occur because of performance or expertise. It occurred because NOACA has gone in a different direction, a political direction. A professional engineering judgment no longer aligns with that agenda. The consequences are real and measurable. Geauga County is losing out on millions of dollars in grant funding, not because our projects are weak, but because NOACA's scoring and prioritization framework now favors urban density, transit-oriented development, and climate metrics that do not fit our communities. There is a better path forward. Partnering with Lake County to form a new MPO would restore focus on roads and bridges, allow us to compete in the correct funding categories, and return control to the communities paying into the system. The numbers proving this advantage already exist and have been presented. This amendment does not strengthen cooperation, it cements control. Once ratified, that authority is gone. I urge you not to approve this amendment and instead begin the process of separating from NOACA and pursuing an MPO structure that actually serves Geauga County. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Bill Cole. I'm a resident of Chardon, Ohio, and I've been a resident of Geauga County for over 27 years. And frankly, I don't understand why we're even having this discussion about NOACA. The most basic tenet of American government is that it is of the people, by the people, and for the people. The NOACA resolution, in fact, our very membership in NOACA removes the power from Geauga County to make decisions for ourselves and spend our own tax dollars for the benefit of our county. NOACA embodies taxation without representation, which goes against one of the tenets of our form of government. Sorry, not used to this. Voting to ratify the resolution further enables the very un-American process. So I not only request that the Board of Commissioners vote against the resolution, but also move forward with the outlined steps to remove us from NOACA altogether. Align us with Lake County, as they are also favorable for that. Whether we voted for you in particular or not, you still represent the people of Geauga County, and your primary allegiance is to seek the welfare of this county. Voting for this resolution and keeping us in NOACA is not for the best interest of our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hello, I'm Kristen Hall from Bainbridge, and my husband and I and our family have been residents for almost 28 years. We ironically came from Geauga County after, I think I was there 11 years. So, and I think if my memory serves, some of you actually came from Geauga also. But I also hope that now that you're in Geauga, you're all Geauga, and that you agree with us. I agree with everything that's been said so far, that we want out of this Marxist organization and that we want representative action in Geauga for Geauga's needs, for Geauga's growth, and we just ask that you would take that into consideration. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it. Okay, that concludes item number 1. Moving on to my report, item number 2. It's a lengthy list this morning. On January 16th, I concurred with the Parkman Township trustees in requesting a hearing on the liquor license being requested by Torres LLC Tacos 422, located at 16220 Main Market Road in Parkman, Ohio, OCT NEW 100111242-1. On January 16th, I accepted and approved for Community and Economic Development the Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund Semi-Annual Report and the Housing Revolving Loan Fund Program Income Report for the period of July 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, and further authorized the electronic submission of these reports. Also on January 16th, I acknowledged for Job and Family Services the following new hire appointments as the Executive Director of Job and Family Services, complied with the Board of Commissioners recruitment and hiring procedures for John Kravitz, accountant, replacement, effective December 1st, 2025. On January 16th, I approved for maintenance the hiring of Thomas Stack to the position of HVAC technician, number 1928, at the rate of $27.36 per hour, which is a grade 11, step 3, to be effective February 2nd, 2026, with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. And finally, on January 16th, I approved and executed for the Department of Water Resources the service contract agreement with Hirschberger Roofing and Siding to perform roof, siding, and window repair services as needed at various locations within the department for a one-year period to be effective January 16th, 2026, in the amount not to exceed $20,000. Also, for the Department of Water Resources, I approved and executed the service contract agreement with Comfort Systems to perform repair service on HVAC systems as needed for the department for a one-year period to be effective January 16th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $3,000. I also approved and executed for the Department of Water Resources the service contract agreement with Sunrise Springs Water Company to provide iron, filter, and water softener installations and required maintenance and filter replacements as needed at various locations for the department for a one-year period to be effective January 16th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $5,000. And finally, I approved and executed for the Department of Water Resources the service contract agreement with National Pump and Process Incorporated to perform pump maintenance at various locations within the department for a one-year period to be effective January 16th in an amount not to exceed $5,000. And that's all I have for my report for item number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Adrian.
Morning, Commissioners. Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. I have the next several items on the agenda for today. First is the financials. Financials today, among other things, include appropriations transfers to the sheriff for miscellaneous refunds, reimbursement, and web checks that were deposited into the general fund. There's a transfer from community development and their brownfield remediation grant fund to move money into their project contracts account to reestablish the remainder of the 7145 Pine Street encumbrance. There's a supplemental in the Commissioner's miscellaneous accounts for contingency, operating transfers, and levy reimbursement expenses. There's also a supplemental in the Senior Center Construction Fund Contract Services account for an encumbrance to pay for the condenser replacement at the West Geauga Senior Center. There's a cash transfer from the general fund to the Board of DD for gas well proceeds from October through December of 2025. There's another cash transfer to Community Development, Metzenbaum, and Board of Elections for the fourth quarter 2025 interest transfer, and from the Juvenile Probate Court to the Unemployment Compensation Fund to pay for December unemployment charges. Among the encumbrances are then and nows from the Commissioners to pay for Corsa insurance deductibles from 2023 and 2024, and from the Common Pleas Court to pay for Climbs jail group sessions from 2025 that were not previously encumbered. There's also travel requests from Job and Family Services to attend the 2026 Ohio Council on Welfare Fraud Annual Training Conference in Lewis Center, Ohio. Among the vouchers are $832,207.46 from the Auditor's ARPA Fund to Shook Construction Company for payments related to the McFarland Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant Upgrades project. $104,105 from the Commissioner's Office to Ravenwood Mental Health Center for first quarter 2026 youth center operations. $144,357.80 from the Engineer's Office to Kimco USA for a new salt conveyor. $62,882.78 from maintenance to Doosan Bobcat North America Incorporated for the purchase of a replacement skid steer loader. The old unit is going to be auctioned in the spring. And finally, $276,958.59 from maintenance to Kenneth Roddick for the replacement of the county barn roof.
I move to approve the financials.
Second. Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Yes.
I'd like to, with your permission, do the next two items together. So these are the monthly financial statements from the Auditor's Office and the Treasurer's Office for the month of December 2025 pursuant to ORC 319.35.
I move to approve 4 and 5.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Item number 6 is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve an encumbrance and expenditure to the Geauga County Agricultural Society pursuant to ORC 1711.15 and 1711.16 for the year 2026 in the amount of $798.35, which is the total oil and gas well revenue received by the county through December 31st of 2025 from a well located on the Geauga County Fairgrounds property.
Adrian, do we have a contractual obligation to pay this money to the fair?
No, we do not.
Okay, so this is one of those, like, this is how we've done it
Yes,
historically.
yes.
I mean, it's not like a huge amount, but I do think this is something, one of those many things we should flag if we start to have a revenue problem in the future. So I'll move to approve number 6.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Yeah, we would have to look at the ORC in regards to that to see exactly what our legal obligations are.
That's what I
There
want.
might not be an agreement, but there might be something in the ORC that
I looked at
necessitates that.
what you had written here from the ORC, and that did not, that was not related to
Okay.
oil and gas proceeds. But I mean, that doesn't mean that there's not another part of the ORC that requires.
Right, okay. The next item is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board requests that the county auditor distribute the balance in the Domestic Violence Fund to Women's Safe, the local agency designated by the Commissioners to receive such monies. This allocation is to be paid pursuant to Sections 3113.34 of the ORC for the 2026 year in the amount of $11,986.
And they timely submitted their paperwork, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll move to approve number 7.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Okay, the next item here is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the request for partial payment number 28 for the Infinity Construction Company Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse expansion, GMP Phase Number 1 and 2, partial release, wait,
That's how you have it on there. You have it
okay,
as a partial.
this
Yeah,
may,
number 2,
this
partial
may
release
be
of
a
retainage.
mistake
Okay.
on the motion. This is just a regular pay request. This is not, we had already done the partial release of retainage.
Okay.
I was
So
gonna
that's
ask
my
about
fault.
that.
That's my
Okay.
fault.
So it's just phase
It is
1
just
and
a
phase
standard
2.
pay request.
Okay.
I apologize.
Can we
We'll
just
get rid
axe
of
the
that.
partial
Yep,
payment
so
request?
partial release of retainage. So
Yeah, in
we'll
the
just get
amount
rid
of
that. So it'll just be in
950,
the amount.
yeah, $950,817.12.
Okay, so has this invoice been reviewed by MV5, all the other relevant parties?
Yes.
Okay, and then I noticed that we were invoiced for the magistrate bench gates that were added. Remind me how we were gonna handle that. We were going to ask the court for, because they had that courthouse improvement fund that was gonna pay for those gates. How is that gonna be, has that been handled? Will that be handled?
I am not aware of how that has been handled yet. I can find out, though. I will
Okay.
make a note of that and
My
and ask.
understanding, we're supposed to get reimbursed from that fund.
Right.
Okay.
The judges had agreed to use that, whatever.
Oh, the,
courthouse improvement
correct,
fund.
yes.
There
Okay,
was it was from settlement money, and so therefore it wouldn't be used with taxpayer dollars, was
Great.
the concern.
yeah, I will reach out to the courts for that,
Okay.
so,
Can you give us an update on that then next week, just
I
to make
will,
sure
yes.
that that's been handled?
Okay.
Thanks, Adrian. So I'll make a motion to approve number 8, just deleting that partial release of retainage language.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute a revised payroll authorization forms for the Department on Aging, Building, Commissioner's Office, Community Development, Dog Warden, Emergency Management Agency, Maintenance, and the Department of Water Resources.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, Rick Blamer, Airport Authority.
You got a new shirt, Rick. Is that new?
No,
You're-
it's just
Usually you
cold.
wear the bomber jacket when you come in, so.
Yes, it's just cold. Airport Authority is requesting the board to approve reimbursement request number 7 for the taxiway extension construction project. I'm going to skip through the stuff unless you want it. The local county match is $4,288.27. The total amount that we're getting through the FAA and ODOT is $85,765.41.
Did you review the invoice and you believe it to be correct?
Yes.
Okay, I move to approve number 10.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
All right, thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Agenda number 12. 11?
There's a revised, there's a revised agenda. You're looking at.
There we go. Number 11. 11's good too. Let's go 11. County Engineer's Office is requesting the board accept and execute Ohio Department of Transportation Office of Technical Services 2025 County Highway System mileage certification of 234.696 miles, which includes a slight deduction of .061 miles from the 2024 mileage certification due to the realignment of Bainbridge Road at Washington Street. If you're familiar with that last project we're finishing up this year. But this is an annual request for the county road mileage. The townships all certify their own mileage. And this has to do with funding that county receives and the township receive based on this. So if this is wrong, money's lost every year. And this is something that we've focused on this past year to accurate using GIS and digital means from a system that's been around for a long time.
So we're going to lose .061
It's not a lot. but-
percent or whatever of funding. Andy, this is unrelated to your agenda item, but have you had an issue with salt storage? I've seen some of the Cuyahoga County, I saw an article recently that they're running out of salt for their roads.
It's being used. I think it's more of a use issue than it is
Yeah.
a shortage issue.
Yeah.
I do know from communications I had through the grapevine that the privateers are no longer being sold salt from the mines because they're basically focusing on municipalities and the transportation network that has to have it, and that's public highways.
Is that something we should be concerned about for Geauga County?
Not at this time. We are, I was asked, what's our plan B? Well, there's no plan B. It's always to minimize the use, to keep the roads impassable. And sometimes it's thought that roads should be running wet or dry. In a snowstorm, that doesn't happen. It's a passable condition where trucks can move, America moves. Then trucks can move, fire trucks, ambulances, school buses, et cetera. So I don't think there's no salt coming out of the ground. Everybody's using it at a rate that hasn't been probably seen in 10 years. The past few years have been very easy on salt usage and everybody in general. So that's something I think it's a perspective, but you shouldn't be putting it down at an excessive rate, and that's stewardship more than anything, environmental and cost base. So
Thanks for that.
if that's not the best non-answer I could give you, there it is.
I'll move to approve number 11.
Second.
Any discussion?
All I can say is that, I think that part of it too, what you're, looking, if we look back at what we did is expanding our salt storage has just put us in such a good position to be able to buy it cheap and have it available, so I'm just glad that we did that years ago to move forward to get that done.
From what it was to where we are now is almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Just in even just operations for the
Yeah.
crews, loading and unloading, the ability to buy low,
Yeah.
store for a long period, and help the
No.
townships out with contracts is
No, smart, thank
I'll
you.
say it's, I want to thank the commissioners for buying into that with the last engineer, and now we're reaping the rewards of that.
Yep.
With the new salt dome, that means that the other municipalities that are much smaller doesn't have to build their own salt dome.
We can
Miniature
assist.
salt dome.
Yeah, we can assist with those that we contract with to come pick up their salt and charge them for it. Not everybody has a dance floor like we have now, so that is in our neck of the woods, something nice to have in the back pocket.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Morning, Jessica.
Good morning. Jessica Bolt, Director, Department on Aging. This morning I have two grants from the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. The first is for
Medicare Improvements for Patients and Providers Act, that we call that MIPA. Essentially what that is, for individuals who are lower income, they are eligible for savings programs for Medicare, drug plans, savings on their Medicare premiums. What we get reimbursed for is the time spent assisting individuals applying for those savings programs, filling out the applications, and also going out into the community and giving educational programs that this actually exists and encouraging people to apply. So this is in the amount of $6,235.21.
So when you say you get reimbursed, like for staff time?
For staff time,
Okay.
yes, they allocate their time.
All right, great. Thanks, Jessica. I'll move to approve number 12.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, the second grant from the Western Reserve Area Agency on Agency is a state grant for Alzheimer's respite. This supports our adult daycare program at our Chesterland site. And once again, this supports our staff time providing the service for our adult daycare. And this is in the amount of $52,179.
I'll move to approve 13.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Morning, Dan. Dan Spada, Building Department. Here today requesting board grant permission to advertise for statement of qualifications for our Master Plans Examiner Services with the response due back on Friday, February 20th at 4 p.m. The notice will be advertised on the January 29th, February 5th, as well as our county website and our Baconio website. This is for the services for commercial plan reviews. We traditionally have gone out for a 2-year contract with multiple plans examiners. It's what keeps us efficient. So I'm just asking a request for permission to advertise.
So Dan, can you talk about what the master plan examiner, I guess, examiners, what they do and why we need them, why we don't have that expertise in-house?
So traditionally, so the state of Ohio requires certifications through everything that our building department does, whether it's commercial building inspector, residential building inspector, electrical inspector. One of the requirements is for a plans review. We are able to do in-house residential plan review services. Commercial plan review services, none of us hold certifications for. And usually, traditionally, it's usually an architect that holds the master plans examiner certifications. And so there's only about 100, and last time I looked, there was about 104 in the state of Ohio that had certifications to do it. We're fortunate enough that we are under contract currently with 5 of them. So it allows us to disperse our plans evenly, get quick returns on it. And so we're looking to, again, go out for advertisement for that service for hopefully a 3-year contract this time. So
Was this reviewed by the prosecutor's office?
it has.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. I'll move to approve 14.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, Charles Tukach, Maintenance Department. I have item 15 on the agenda. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board rescind the motion taken on October 28th, 2025 to accept and approve the design firm rankings in compliance with ORC 153.69A and evaluation of the statement of interest and qualifications received for providing professional design services and contract administration services for the expansion and renovation of the county's animal shelter kennels, including TC Architects Incorporated, LDA Architects Incorporated, and Verdantis LLC, and further selected TC Architects Incorporated as the most qualified firm to provide professional designs and contract administration services in accordance with ORC 153.69B, and authorize commencement of contract negotiations.
Can you just explain the reason for this request? I mean, I can guess.
Yeah, so it's my understanding that we are going to look at a more longer-term solution rather than the short-term solution that was proposed with this project, and that's the reason for rescinding it.
I'll move to approve 15.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Nick. Morning, Commissioners. Nick Goris, Water Resources Department. Item 16 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the certified list of governing body and contact persons regarding the facility and financial information for the USDA annual reporting requirements. Something we do every year, required for our USDA loans. We currently have two, totaling over 2.4 million right now. Take us out another 20-some years or so. But we'll be doing this every year until we satisfy those loans.
I'll move to approve 16.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have item number 17. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the letter of engagement for general services with McDonald Hopkins LLC for the year 2026 in an amount not to exceed $25,000 unless prior approval of the board. So if you recall, we have previously done Myers-Roman. We have to redo these engagement letters every year to make sure that they reflect the current calendar year. And it also gives you an opportunity as the board, which I previously mentioned, if you had any other firms you'd like me to explore. So nothing has changed in terms of we have two additional outside counsels in addition to the prosecutor, which, as mentioned, Myers-Roman was previously approved by you for calendar year 26, and this is an update to our second outside counsel with McDonald's Hopkins. So just asking for your approval on that for the calendar year.
My one question I had, I know the prior board approved a contract with Dan Law. Are we still under that agreement?
No.
Okay. I'll move to approve number 17.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 18, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-008 to ratify an amendment to Article 4, Section 4.2 of the Code of Regulations of the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency known as NOACA.
Does anyone want to make comments? I mean, I guess the one thing I'll add is that the intent behind these amendments was, well, I mean, one of the criticisms of NOACA, and I think fairly, is that it's a board of unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats. And so, these changes give Geauga more autonomy regarding our seats and kind of put more of a pressure on including elected officials in those seats.
I guess if I can comment on it, sure. I've been a commissioner now 14 years, and I have engaged with Skip for a large amount of those years, or other members of the commissioners board. When Skip was a commissioner, obviously he represented himself as a commissioner there. When Skip no longer was a commissioner, we always had a position that one of the commissioners, myself or Tim Lennon, assigned him as our representative. I guess a couple things is that, many people have tried to criticize me of not attending meetings and not being able to do this or not to be able to do that as far as NOACA is concerned or Planning Commission. But at the end of the day, I was elected by the people with a plan as I campaigned to be accountable to the people. And my position always was is to create a representative in those positions that educated themselves, looked at the views that I also had, and always operated in what I felt was the best position for the county. And in order to do that in any successful operation, if we don't look at government as a business, we fail, because we need to look at it, because if we didn't run it like a business, and that's the position and approach that I took, is to assign someone who was going to be 100% focused and dedicated to the cause. And I can tell you, and I listened to what Skip said today, and he's absolutely right. You know, he's taken away from his family. He's taken time away, from himself to be able to do things. We always communicate before he goes to the meeting. Many times he would be, coming back from where he had a second home to, summer place to be able to make the meeting and then drive another 2 hours back. His time, his money in the gas, his money in the parking, and just his commitment. But he's never failed this county once to be able to represent and serve and always ask the hard question. So my position is that that is why I've always believed in having representation at NOACA that's consistent and has always somebody there that has followed the trends and the whole process. And I could tell you for the last 14 years, there's been nobody stronger as an advocate for this county than what Skip has done at that location at NOACA. And his voice, they don't like him. And they don't like him because they get called out on their shenanigans and their nonsense that they're trying to push down our throats. And it's just disturbing to me that as a commissioner, I should be able to have that ability to have representation of who I feel is the right person for that job. So with that, I can't thank everybody enough this morning. I left the house, it was 17 degrees, and to see this amount of people here and the care that you have for this county is absolutely astonishing, and totally humbled for the fact that you guys would take the time to come out here, and it just shows where your hearts and your care for this county is. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
I'll move to approve number 18.
Second the motion. Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
No.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Turn your hearing aids on.
Shame on you. Shame on each one of you too.
Let's maintain some order in the meeting. We still have business to conduct.
Okay, moving on to item number 19. The first item for board discussion is the letter to the Planning Commission member. We drafted a letter for your signature and consideration. At the last meeting, you had asked that we formalize the information to this committee member, just making them aware of the attendance requirements. So that's before you today for signature by the board, and then we'll go ahead and take care of it administratively.
I did have a few red lines.
Yes.
Included in those? Okay.
Yes.
Just minor
Yes,
stuff.
I just need, let's just do a vote on it, just to make sure that, what I.
Before we go forward with this, I have a couple of questions. So what exactly is the layout of the board going to be now with this? Okay, we accepted this, but what is the positioning then on NOACA?
So we have the commissioners have 3 appointee seats, so we can decide who those
Okay.
3 members are. Right? There's, obviously there's a preference towards elected officials filling those seats.
So that I'm clear, so each one of us, what you're saying is we still have a choice of who we want to represent us?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to move based on the sections of the bylaws of NOACA. I'm going to move to put Skip Claypool as my alternate.
So you do not currently have a seat, none of us currently have a seat.
But I don't.
Not yet,
So
as of now.
you need to make a motion to make yourself one of those appointees.
Okay.
That's the first step, and then at that point, you can decide. But, the way I read the bylaws change, he is not an elected official, nor does he have, does he hold an appointed position in one of those enumerated categories. So I don't think he's an appropriate choice, but, you know, if
So
you got
when are
one
we
of
going to
these-
make a motion then for those positions?
I mean, we could do that now.
Because I'd like to make, I would like to get this resolved. I don't want to kick this can down the road. We have an important meeting on Friday at Nowaka, and I want to make sure that Skip is in attendance.
So I'll make a motion that Commissioner Dvorak and myself hold 2 of the seats, as well as our county engineer holds the 3rd.
I second the motion.
Okay, but with that being said, my alternate still, I have the ability of having an alternate.
Okay, did you understand my motion?
I understood your motion, but I still have the ability as a commissioner to have an alternate.
You would not have a seat if my motion passes.
You're in Geauga County, not Geauga.
Any more discussion?
So we always
We call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
No.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
All right, so we go back to the letter to the planning commission.
Yes, yes, your red lines are included in the
Okay.
letter for the planning commission.
I just
So
need a
do we need a
motion.
motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the letter to the planning commission member.
Second. Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
I,
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
That's this one. That's this one, so that's that one.
And then you need our alternates as well for
Yes, I mean, if you, I don't know, is,
do we need to approve, I mean, I don't know if we need to approve those, or is that just a conversation?
No, we should have it in the meeting. Andy, who would you like to have your alternate?
Engineer Tracy Salkowitz.
And I choose Nick Goris.
I mean, Commissioner Snow-Wright, you could be my alternate if you would like, but I know historically you've not attended the meeting, so.
yep, I'm just telling you that this is wrong. I'm the elected commissioner of this county. And I think that what you guys have done today is absolutely disgusting and wrong. And I can tell you that I personally will start to look into some options also, because the people that are sitting here, whether they voted for me or not, are entrusting me to do the right thing and to represent them. And what you two have done is basically removed my ability to have the right representation, or my belief, and what my constituents have basically, you've heard no other opposition here this morning. Everybody has been 100% of what I am trying to say. And it's a real sad day when we serve ourselves and not the people.
I'll pick Mr. Shane Hajar. Yeah.
so the motion is for the alternate for the NOACA seats of Ms. Brady has shown Shane Hajar, Mr. DeBoer has chosen Nick Goris, and Andy Hutt has chosen Tracy Salkowitz.
Yes.
Is that a motion?
Motion to, well, we already approved that, so that's just for the alternates.
That's just
So
for
I'll
alternates.
move to approve the alternates for NOACA as presented.
Second. Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Nope.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Yes, Village of Middlefield. Christie has this one to discuss with the board.
So back on January 8th, we received from the Village of Middlefield the packet that was sent. When it was received, it was emailed to all of you. It is for the Village of Middlefield is considering the, a TIF ordinance under Ohio Revised Code 5709.40E. And this would be to comprise 5 individual Heritage Point tax increment financing incentive districts under this TIF ordinance. I sent it immediately to Ms. LaChapelle in the prosecutor's office when it was received on the 8th. Last week, I went back and forth with her, just following up to make sure that, what was necessary on behalf of the commissioners to proceed. And she said that the Village of Middlefield TIF looks like it involves about $80 million. And I made her aware of some inconsistencies within the documentation that I raised some awareness to. And so within 30 days, the board has to pass a resolution to the village, whether you are in agreement with it or object to it. It is specifically would establish the 5 separate incentive districts and would authorize a 100% tax increment financing exemption on the increased assessed value with respect to the parcels located within the 5 incentive districts for a period of up to 30 years. And the TIF exemptions would commence with respect to each district on the earlier of the first year following the effective date of the TIF ordinance of the improvements. So right now, we're just looking for a discussion on your behalf on whether you are in agreement with it or object to it so that we can move forward with putting together the resolution that would be what you are in favor of or against.
Well, with the TIF, Chardon City approached us 2-3 years ago, and we, I'm okay with building and housing and all that stuff, but have the details. Back 2-3 years ago, prosecutor Jim Flays negotiated it, and what they were asking for, he got it cut in half. So I'd like to go through that process with our prosecutor.
I'm sorry, where was that Chardon again?
Chardon, it was a housing development close to King Cone.
Okay.
This Oak Creek, that was the last one.
The last one,
There was 3
yeah.
that were done prior to that.
So I feel that we should go through the same process.
Okay. That's what I was gonna ask, is historically, obviously you gentlemen have more experience in this than I do. What's been done when these come before you?
I think the first step is that you would have to put together a resolution on whether you favor or object it. And then if you object, I think that's when the negotiation would begin.
Yeah.
And then follow suit on that part.
For us to have a chance to negotiate, we have to reject it.
Okay.
I'd
Not
make
that
a
I'm
motion
totally
to
against it.
object.
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I mean, that's my gut feeling too. I'm not that knowledgeable on these, but that was my gut feeling too, we want lower taxes for everybody, not just, pick and choose who gets them.
Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWood.
Yes.
Okay, I will circle back with Ms. LaChapelle, and then we will work on getting that resolution together to move forward.
And the reason being, I'd like to have the opportunity to negotiate.
Thank you.
And the name of that project, Heritage Point?
Yes.
Okay.
With an E at the end.
Yes, yeah. POINTC, yes.
Okay.
Do you wanna let Geauga
Yes.
Ms. Blasco is here from Lake Geauga Recovery Services.
Lake
She's
Geauga
not on
Recovery.
board discussion, but she is here today.
Lake Geauga Recovery Center.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just an update on the next recovery house.
Okay, I'm Melanie Blasco, President and CEO of Lake Geauga Recovery Centers, and I'm really here on behalf of representing Christine Lacomiak, the Executive Director of the Geauga Board of Mental Health and Recovery Services. Lake Geauga Recovery Centers was really fortunate to receive the One Ohio Foundation grant back last year to open a recovery house in Region 13. And that was in February. We did receive 50% of the money. It was $300,000 was the grant. And we have been really challenged. I've probably looked at no less than a dozen houses throughout Geauga County, and we have been challenged by low inventory and high costs of housing. And our needs for recovery housing are specific. So a house has become available, which is very perfect for us. And we did make an offer. There are several layers of approval this has to go through because the property owner. So we have gone through approval of level 1. But the cost is $350,000. So when I approached Christine Lacomiak about any assistance we could get from the board, she did mention the opiate settlement money, and that would be a possibility, so we can move forward with the purchase of this home.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be putting out RFP, and if you wanna provide a proposal at that time, I think that would be the proper way to handle this.
Okay.
I'm 100% for that, so we can just work the process out, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to be able to see what proposals we have and then evaluate them accordingly. We are setting aside approximately $100,000 though, so your project would be within that range.
Thank you. She did explain that to me, so, okay, great, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
I do not have any other items for board discussion. Anything else? No? Okay. Moving on to item 20, which is public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and address, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and you're kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct. Is there anyone? Yes, Skip, please.
Skip Claypool, Chesterton, Ohio. Not unexpected. And let me just make this comment. The public now knows who you represent. It is not Geauga County. It is the special interest in Cuyahoga County. And so thank you for revealing that, so now we all know where you stand. In addition to that, I'm going to suggest that you confer with your counsel, because the process you just followed to remove a fellow commissioner, I believe, creates a legal situation for yourselves. And so I'm going to check that myself and when I leave this meeting. But I'm going to suggest to you for your own protection. And Jim and Carolyn, for whatever it's worth, I am not your enemy. I am just trying to look out for the best interest of Geauga County. And I would think that we would want to ally, because I would hope that your interest is Geauga County. You should be joining a lawsuit against NOACA because of the process and the approaches that you use. So the public is able to see how you operate and what you just did to a fellow commissioner. And I'm very disappointed, I have to say, in what just happened on this board, because it would have never happened in the past on this board. This board always stuck together. It was always unified and looking out for this county. And now that's changed, and that was by intent. Cuyahoga County intended to create this conflict in the way that they approached the bylaw change. And so I'm saddened to hear what I got to see, but the public gets to weigh this. And there's going to be an election coming up in May, and one of the candidates is sitting here in this audience. And so I hope that the public weighs what just occurred in their choice of the next county commissioner. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Ralph, thank you. Thank you for standing with the people in Geauga County.
Anyone else wish to make a comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Elsie Tarsi. I live in South Russell. Yesterday, I was a member of the Geauga 250 celebration for the Declaration of Independence. And I want to say that on January 22nd, 2026, Commissioner Brakey and Commissioner Dvorak seceded our autonomy in Geauga County to Cuyahoga County. It's not appreciated, and I pray that we get different representation. Thank you.
The way I look at this.
Oh, ma'am, could you introduce yourself?
Janet Kramars, Chesterland, Ohio.
Thank you.
Same address.
Thank you.
Okay? I've lived in Geauga County since '64. I've known Jim for a long time. I knew his wife. And I'm really looking at this from what's good for Geauga County and what are we doing here. The way I look at NOACA members, they're unelected bureaucrats that are supposed to be in charge of roads and bridges. And they're doing all kinds of other things, and they're trying to extend Cuyahoga into Geauga. People, I was in real estate, people move here for a reason. They want to get out of Cuyahoga. There's more people moving here than are moving back to Cuyahoga. But if we continue, I am very disappointed in both Carolyn and Jim. That's all I have to say. I know both of them. I know them better than Ralph. But I'm really disappointed. And, you know, we try to elect people that will represent the people. And I don't feel like you are doing a good job. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Joyce Marins, Chester Township, and I have two questions that I'm hoping this is appropriate for discussion, or at least to get a response, but I'm not sure I understand why you voted for this, and also how do we get out of NOACA? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Christine Stenzel, Munson. I just, when it was just stated that NOACA are unelected bureaucrats, Carolyn shook her head yes in agreement. And I'm confused on why that's
Why I
okay.
approve the bylaw change. It takes
So
away
you're okay with
from us.
unelected bureaucrats making decisions for Geauga?
It puts more elected officials on the board.
Well, if the people are chosen randomly that you chose, that we didn't elect, I don't know how that serves us as Geauga County residents.
3 elected officials showing up for meetings. rather
But
than
you're
2 elected officials
choosing
that are unelected.
alternates that we don't know and we did not elect. So that's my question. How can that be done? We didn't elect these people that you've just chosen. Thank you.
My name is Jane Sterland. I'm from Washington State. I was about in tears. I'm an outsider, but I grew up here in Chardon. I lived here for 18 years and then other years after college. Not only was the NOACA thing, you didn't listen to any of the public comments here, but a lot of the stuff was related to NOACA. You're following their agenda and the plans of the big state rather than the plans of the people. And I find that awful. You stand before God in what you did today. There's judgment later, and maybe, hopefully, judgment at the election time. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Francine Nardolillo. I'm from Newberry, Ohio. My family moved to Geauga County in 1976. I have been a resident all that time. And I will tell you, when people say, don't Cuyahoga my Geauga, it's because we love this county. I don't know what we're doing in NOACA. I know we've been in it for a long time, but I think things have changed. And I would expect our commissioners to support us as members of Geauga County, as residents, to look to what we want. We want our tax dollars to stay here. We want the projects here to move forward. I don't want my monies going to Cuyahoga County. We're the little guy in that big NOACA. And I would hope that you would work to get us out. Thank you.
Gary Neola, South Russell. So I'm former Planning Commission member, and when I was on the Planning Commission, we prepared a letter outlining how we could instruct our commissioners to remove ourselves from NOACA and the steps to take to form an MPO with Lake County. We never got a response to that letter yet from the commissioners. Whether we ever do or not, I don't know. I'm not on the commission anymore, so I don't know. When it comes, it comes. Outside of all that, Ralph, thank you. Yes. Thank you for standing strong, because you're the only one that's got a backbone. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Carol Cyrus. I live in Newberry. Thank you for your service to our community. Thank you, Caroline, for explaining why you voted the way you did about the ratification. I'm so glad we can ask questions. I really appreciate that. Mr. Dvorak, I haven't heard from you. We haven't heard from you why you voted as you did, and I would love to understand. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that all of you are working in the, because you're good people and you want to do the right thing.
Right.
So I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and just understand your perspective on why you voted the way you did.
Well,
Can I say?
sure, go ahead, relax. So when the election came through, last November, engineer Andy Hopp won the election, and we talked, and he wanted to be a voting member representing Geauga County. And based on his credentials, civil engineer, surveyor, and he won his election, he's an engineer. I'm not an engineer. The only thing I did, brief background, was township trustee for 11 years, and at that time I was in charge of the road maintenance crew, and we had 20-some miles to take care of. But I sat with R.L. Phillips years ago and helped capture like $800,000 through the local government fund, which right before that was defunct about 90% from all the political subdivisions in Geauga County. So I sat with them, and Joe Cattell took over, and he created the rental resource program, which helps all the municipalities, especially the small ones. And with the $800,000, the engineer's office bought 3 pieces of equipment. And it's equipment that is used by townships and even the park district or whatever. The equipment costs like $300,000 or $400,000. I don't care if it's a ditch mower or a crack sealer or whatever. So why have that small township pay $300,000 or $400,000 for a piece of equipment that they're going to use 2 weeks out of the year? They have to maintain it, they have to store it, and everything else. So I'm all in with roads and bridges. That's my background. And Andy, he's a civil engineer, and he's the best person to represent Geauga County for roads and bridges. And as far as dollars and cents, we pay dues. Water Resources pays $8,657 per year. They just received the grant for $29,000 for clean air or clean water, something. And so that's a pretty good return. And so NOACA dues for the rest of the county, that's the engineer's office in the county, is like $39,000. So every year, we get back over $500,000 for roads and bridges. One example, the Park District received $1 million for the new bridge at Westwoods in South Russell. Now, should the Park District send that money back? But that covers most of that bridge. And South Russell Village, they just received, are going to receive, like $1.3 million. They applied for it on their own, they got it, to repave Bell Road from the Cuyahoga line all the way to Newberry. So, should they give that back? So, dollars and cents, I don't care what kind of business you're in, if somebody knocks on your door and says, hey, if you give me $40,000, I'll return $500,000 or more every year. I don't care if you're selling cars or whatever. It's like, where do you sign? But it's all these other caveats that nobody agrees with, And now that we have a new presidential, program in D.C., things for equality and things like that are just dwindling. So we're getting back to roads and bridges. So those are my feelings.
Ma'am, if I could just comment on your if I could comment on your question there also, so that I could kind of clarify and debunk the sugar coating that you just heard, is that I think that Andy Hopt, as our engineer, is excellent. and he has incredible skill, knowledge, and background, and is more than capable of being able to do that. But let me clarify, if that's how Commissioner Dvorak felt, he could have put Andy Haupt as our engineer, as his alternate, and he would have been a voting member in NOACA anyways, and I could have continued to keep my seat and my position also.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm saying is read between the lines. What you just were told was a lot of words with very little meaning.
I think it's important to note too that the NOACA Board of Directors overwhelmingly approved these bylaw changes. And that's not just, hold on, I'm talking, guys. It wasn't just the city of Cleveland, it just wasn't just Cuyahoga, it was Lorain County, it was Medina County, it was Lake County. It was all the counties overwhelmingly approved the changes. I think the one change, there were only 2 people that objected, and one of which was Mr. Claypool.
I think at that special meeting, everybody was heard. Medina gave their rendition of how important it was to have their engineer as their voting member. And then Lorain County got what they wanted. So there was a lot of, it was supposed to be a meeting from 10 to 11:30, and the meeting was over like at 20 after 12. But everybody got to talk, amendments were made, we voted on it, and at the end, everybody got what they wanted. So, all the other entities.
Okay, moving on. Yes, ma'am.
Beth Welty again. I just wanted to say, I heard you guys say that all these other counties voted for this ratification, but didn't our own planning commission, Geauga residents, ask you to vote against it?
No.
Yeah, there was a letter.
The letter was not regarding the ratification.
It was about getting out of
It was
NOACA.
about, but that's a different subject.
No, getting out of NOACA, not ratifying, not, when COVID happened and the government handed out all that grant money, weren't there attachments? Didn't they hold you accountable to do their agenda? Isn't that what that is? Here, we'll give you this money. You have to do what we say. You're not doing what the constituents want. You're buying into being bought and paid for.
Yes, Jonathan? Sure, we'll get you next. We'll get you next, ma'am.
Jonathan Broadbent, Geauga County resident. In any budget, there's a feel-good story, and I'm concerned that when we focus on comments like Mr. Dvorak made, that we can pick out and cherry-pick some feel-good circumstance that we accomplished something with $6,000 and a return of $50,000, which sounds good on the surface. However, when we're talking about the NOACA budget, my question is, how much are we paying and how much are we getting back? And I think in the scheme of things, this sum is extraordinarily not in favor of Geauga County or our residents. Sure, we can pick out occasional instances where something good happens, but overwhelmingly, everyone I talk to in Geauga County is completely and thoroughly opposed to NOACA, the amount of money that exits our county and the little drips that come back into our county. Thank you.
Do I need to say my name again? Christine Stenzel. To Jonathan's point, it's what we put in and what we get back are 2 different things many times, whether it's investing with college with our kids or whatever. NOACA, the history of NOACA, it started out as an MPO, roads and bridges and that kind of infrastructure. It has turned into all kinds of things. It's a whole big circle of climate and everything else. We didn't ask for that, but we kept saying, okay, we kept going to meetings, we kept agreeing. So there's an example of what we've invested in and now what we own. And to continue it, we're just going to keep gathering more on that stone as we roll down the hill. Thank you.
Okay.
Steve Olich, since I was mentioned here a couple times, I'm really disturbed by a couple things I heard here today and what I saw and witnessed. We talk about credentials. You better be careful about credentials. Credentials are not a measure of character or doing the right thing, okay? If you were so intent on removing Skip via Ralph, why didn't you resign, Mr. Dvorak, you could have stepped back and gave your position up to the county engineer, but you went after Mr. Spitaleri to get rid of him to get to Skip Claypool. And I wonder if you're going to put a sign out on the road again, Skippy four-time loser, because this is all personalities and egos, and it needs to stop. And to witness you sitting there so smug, Carolyn, laughing at the people, or your smile, maybe it was a nervous smile that you had, is just outrageous. These people took time out of the day to come here and express their concerns. And let's hope we have change coming up.
I do think don't we have a max time for public comment?
Half an hour.
Yeah, okay. Where are we now?
Linda Reddick, Newberry, Ohio. I just have a feeling like this was already predetermined, that all of our comments and probably most of the meetings are not this well attended on one subject. You can tell how passionate we are on it and how concerned. I feel so unheard and unwatched over as a Geauga County resident. You were entrusted in a position, but yet you had a plan. And it was already implemented, and you just wait for the agenda item. This was already set up. You got rid of Ralph. He was the one person that we actually ever heard from on the subject. And so now you just silence him on the one very concerning subject. This is, I would say, for most of us, very alarming.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Brakey, I have a question for you. Yes or no? In your campaign promises, did you say that you would work together respectfully with all factions of the GOP?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
So regarding the Planning Commission letter, I mean, one suggestion they put in there that I think is fair is they suggested hiring an outside consultant to look at what this would look like leaving NOACA, how, those questions about what's coming in, what's going out, and kind of evaluate that and make a business case for the county. I mean, I'm in favor of that. My only concern is that whatever that consultant says, these folks in the room may not be happy with it one way or the other. So I just don't want to waste taxpayer dollars. But if that's something folks are interested in, I think I'd be interested in hearing that feedback.
Okay, we can revisit the letter that was submitted to the board from the Planning Commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just that element of looking at a consultant to evaluate this in an objective basis, not an emotional feelings one.
Okay. It's been noted. That concludes public comment. Item number 20, moving on to 21. The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment of a public employee pursuant to ORC 121.22G1.
So moved.
Second.
Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brakey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes.
And who's coming in, Amy?
Craig Swenson, Director of JFS, Mark Jimison, Deputy County Administrator, and myself, and Paul Ryman from JFS.
Thank you.
Okay. I have you in at 11:03.
Okay, audio's on.
I know we can't, but we could get them just to move away from the door.
Well, you can't shut
close
the
the
door.
door.
It's just one being open meeting.
No, doesn't matter. Can't close it.
Yep, we're back.
I have you returned at 11:21.
There will be some action.
Yes, Paul Ryman, Geauga County Job and Family Services.
Yes, Craig Swenson, Executive Director, Geauga County Job and Family Services. We were in executive session, and understanding that there is action, I have handed the clerk the action, if she can proceed with that.
Sure, I'm sticking your papers here really quick. So it appears that each one of you has a section to sign in.
Party out there.
That is,
Thomas, quiet him down.
okay. The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board accept the recommendation of the Director of Job and Family Services to issue an involuntary disability separation order for Elizabeth Burnt pursuant to Ohio Administrative Code, Section 123, from 1 through 30-01, effective close of business, January 22nd, 2026. Further, approve and authorize the board to execute the order of removal, reduction, suspension, involuntary disciplinary separation form per ORC 124.34 for the involuntary disability separation of Elizabeth Burnt and notify Ms. Burnt of the required procedures to apply for reinstatement. So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brady?
Hey,
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
appreciate your work on that, gentlemen. I know that was not an easy thing to do, and you were very diligent and documented it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So each one of you has your own specific block that you have to sign, and you can sign all
And there-
three.
And there's three, yes.
Three
Yes, thank you.
I have nothing further.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.